Illustrator has two different kinds of selection tools. You can find these selection tools at the top of your toolbox. The first one is the regular selection tool. Sometimes I call it the black arrow. There's also the white arrow or direct selection tool. Each one of these performs different, unique, specific tasks. Let's look at the black arrow selection tool first. With this tool, you can select an entire object by clicking on it. And notice that when I click on it, it lights up, and it also gives me a bounding box that shows me the absolute height and width of that object. I also know that it's selected because each of the anchor points is all highlighted. With the selection tool, I can move objects around, and especially if I have my bounding box turned on, I can rotate and resize these objects as well. If I want to select multiple objects, there's two different ways of doing it. I can take my cursor and click and drag in an empty space over multiple objects, and you can see a little rectangle marquee selection is forming. And when I let go, you can see now there's a bounding box over all the objects that I highlighted, and I can move each of these at the same time. To deselect an object, all I'm going to do is click in an open empty area, and that deselects it. Another way of selecting multiple objects is to hold down the Shift key when clicking on an object. So I'm going to select the orange object, hold down Shift, then select the red, hold down Shift, then select the blue. All of these select the entire objects all at once. This is all done with the direct selection black arrow tool. The white arrow direct selection tool allows you to select individual vector points. Now, if I was to click in the center of an object, it will select the entire object with all the vector points, and I can move it around. Notice, however, I don't have my bounding box. The direct selection tool works best by selecting the individual anchor points that you want to work with. So if I know I want to move this anchor point, I can click on it. You can see it's selected because it's been filled in. The other ones remain hollow. And if they have Bezier handles, I can see those too. Clicking and dragging allows me to move these points around and change up my object at will. So this would be great if I wanted to extend one particular arm of the star. Additionally, if I was to click on a path, it selects both of those anchor points, even though they're not filled in, and allows me to move that one particular path. Now, it is important to learn to click directly on a path. This is why I have my smart guides turned on. You'll know that you're clicking directly on a point by looking very carefully at my icon. When I'm hovering over a point, you see the little dot at the very bottom corner of my cursor. That means I'm directly on a point. Additionally, the point lights up. And I can click on a specific anchor point and move only that one anchor point. If I wanted to select multiple anchor points, I can click on them, and I can hold down my Shift key and select multiple anchor points from there as well. Now I can move all of these anchor points together. Also, I can click and drag over those three anchor points, and I get my marquee. Anything inside of that marquee selects just those anchor points, and they can be selected as well. Clicking outside or on another object will deselect that object and allow me to click multiple things as well. I did say there were only two types of selection tools. There are more. There's a magic wand and there's a polygon lasso tool. But these are your most commonly used selection tools. Do pay attention to their keyboard shortcuts to quickly choose them. The selection tool is V. I try to remember it because the V looks like a regular pointer. The direct selection tool is the A. It also looks like a pointer. And so I can quickly swap between the selection and direct selection by hitting the V or the A between those two as well.